anyway, and tax rates are going up, not because of your local educational budget. Your tax rate is going up because of a common level of appraisal. You can see here the increase for Andover is gone up by 70%. Or no, it's gone up by, no, that's correct.
It's gone down to 70%.
It's gone down to 70% from 80%, which is an increase in the amount of money that you will owe. When the difference between the total percentage of value of your house is reduced from what is expected, then you have to pay more taxes. So Baltimore is the only one that is not in that situation because they had their full appraisal recently. So the projected tax rate for Andover with our base tax rate reduction and the CLA increase is for Andover will be 8.18. It's a decrease for Baltimore, an increase for Cavendish of 5.99, and for Chester of 5.12. But we'll remind everybody again that what is causing that increase is not your local educational funding. What is causing that increase is the increase in the value of your homes since they were last appraised. And I know there's lots out there that says there's a tax increase that for a while it's at 18%. Most recently it has said 15%. That is at best an average across the state of Vermont. The increases here locally are not in double digits. So when you look at what is happening as a result of that CLA, along with the base tax rate decrease for every $100,000 of home site value, and we've said multiple times, we know nobody has a $100,000 home. That is just for math so that it's easier to do it. That if you are in Andover, you would have been looking at an increase of $198.70 for every $100,000. Because of the base tax rate decrease due to this budget, it will be $135.60. For Baltimore, it is a decrease because their property values were recently reappraised. For Cavendish, it is an increase of $97.90 instead of $161. And for Chester, $78.40 instead of $141. And Cheryl has also provided some information. You want to go over that on the homestead tax credit?
Yeah, so if your household income is less than $128,000, you're likely eligible for a tax credit. So I have a link there, and if you go to the TRSU website and go into the Green Mountain budget, this is a live link. So if you have your HS 122 that you filed with your taxes to declare your homestead, all that information would be on it, which would be your town number, your income for 23, and your current tax bill, and then would tell you whether or not that you would be entitled to a credit in addition to what we have here. With the yield bill that's currently waiting for the governor, I don't think it's gotten to the governor yet. That projected yield is a little bit higher, which will bring the tax rate a little bit lower, but we're talking pennies. In addition to that yield bill, there's a 13% additional credit for those people that qualify. But that's sitting on the governor's desk to be signed. So if he doesn't sign it, then it goes to the veto session, and I'm not exactly sure what will happen.
So as we've been through, we certainly want everybody to understand that everyone on the board, and Cheryl and I, all live within the communities. We pay a great deal of attention to what it costs. We would all like for things to cost less. I would like for my grocery bill to be smaller. I would like for my property taxes to be smaller. I also think it is important to fund our schools appropriately. And we've been through the budget. These are the things that we think are necessary. As I said before, the budget we put forward in March is the one we think would be best. We think that what we have at the moment is something that will allow us to fund our school in a reasonable way and hopefully reduce some of the costs for some of our taxpayers. And I am glad to answer questions from anyone who has it.
Lauren, did you say 78.40 per thousand for Chester?
100,000.
For 100,000. Okay.
Yeah. We used to go through and try to, figure out what the average house was and figured out that the average home price is 370,000 and you're trying to figure out what your $450,000 house is. It just seemed easier to do for 100,000, and then you can multiply by 3 or by 3.5 in order to figure out the increase. So for a $300,000 home, you're looking at something in the vicinity of $250 for the year, an additional $20, $25 a month. And again, every penny counts. I don't want to discount that. It is also not an unreasonable increase given all of the increases that are in place for the cost of everything. And all of this information is, including that slide I was just showing, it's on the trsu.org website. There is a link for the TRSU budget, the Green Mountain budget, the Ludlow Mount Holly budget. All of that is there. And if you are looking at that or even not struggling to find it, you can call us at the central office, send Cheryl an email, send me an email. We're glad to have conversations with people. We have a couple of people pretty much every day who contact us, and most people have individual questions, and we're happy to go through it. As we've said, the vote will be on Tuesday. The absentee ballots are in every town. You can go to your town clerk when they're open, walk in, fill it out. You don't have to mail it back to them, or you can take them and fill them out and send them out. No questions? Well, we've talked about it a lot, so I hope that people have the message out there clearly. We do still, for anybody who wants to remind people to vote, we have 1 or 2 of those yard signs that are still left in the school. So if you go by Chester Andover Elementary School or the high school or Cavendish while they're open, and you want to put a sign, they just say vote. They don't tell you how to vote, just reminding people that they should go and vote. And we're hoping that we have a significantly higher turnout, but it is important that everybody has their opinion. Right, if there are no other questions, we're glad to see you, glad to have you come back and talk with us at any point if you would like to. I'll just let it sit here open for a few more minutes. We will happily call it an early night. Thank you all. The next board meeting will be June. Well, that's for your restructuring committee. Your committee meetings, but the regular board meeting is June 20th. Thank you all. Go get them. All right, I'm going to leave it. If nobody else has any questions, I'm going to close Zoom down. Thank you all.